The underestimated planet. In the grand assembly halls of the Galactic Concordat, Earth was little more than a footnote, a curiosity that sparked condescending amusement among the elder races. The Arcturians, with their quantum-fold drives, and the Zenith Collective, masters of dark energy manipulation, regarded humanity's fledgling space program with the same patronizing interest one might show a child's crayon drawing of a starship. Admiral Kira Chen stood at the observation deck of the United Earth Defense Command, her weathered face reflected in the reinforced plasteel as she watched the construction drones work on humanity's latest vessels. The ships looked crude compared to the elegant vessels of the galactic powers, blocky, overbuilt, and wrapped in layers of what the Arcturians mockingly called primitive alloys. But Kira knew what the others didn't. Beneath that deceptively simple exterior lay humanity's greatest secret. Admiral, the Arcturian delegation has arrived for the annual technology exchange. Lieutenant Santos reported, his voice tight with controlled frustration. These exchanges were nothing more than theatrical displays of superiority, where advanced races showcase technologies they deemed safe enough to share with the developing species. "Let them come," Kira replied, a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Make sure they get the usual tour of our basic facilities." Deep below the surface of Mars, in facilities unknown even to most of Earth's government, Dr. Sarah Morrison and her team were putting the finishing touches on Project Aegis. The massive underground complex housed something that would shake the foundations of galactic society, if they could perfect it in time. "The quantum entanglement matrix is stable," Sarah announced, her hands dancing across holographic interfaces. "The shield harmonics are holding at 300% beyond what any known weapon can produce." She turned to her colleague, Dr. Raj Patel, who was monitoring the energy readings with intense concentration. "They all think we're stuck with basic deflector technology," Raj said, shaking his head. "None of them bothered to consider what would happen if we approached shields from a completely different direction." The truth was, humanity's apparent technological backwardness was its greatest advantage. While other races had followed predictable paths of technological evolution, humans have been forced to think differently. Unable to match the advanced quantum technologies of the elder races, Earth's scientists had explored theoretical paths that the others had long abandoned as inefficient or impossible. In orbit, the Arcturian delegation's crystalline ship dwarfed Earth's orbital platforms. Ambassador Zeltor, his translucent skin shimmering with neural patterns, observed Earth's defenses with barely concealed disdain. "Your progress is notable," he said to Kira, the universal translator struggling to mask the condescension in his tone. "Perhaps in a few centuries, you'll be ready to join the greater galactic community as full members." Kira maintained her diplomatic smile, even as she received a coded message through her neural implant. Project Aegis had just achieved another breakthrough. The shield technology they developed didn't just stop attacks. It absorbed them, learned from them, and grew stronger. It was an approach so counterintuitive that no advanced race had ever considered it. "We look forward to that day, Ambassador," she replied smoothly. "Earth knows its place in the galaxy." But Earth's place was about to change dramatically. In the depths of space, the Drachnid Empire, one of the most aggressive of the elder races, was growing tired of maintaining the pretense of peace. Their warfleets were gathering, hidden from conventional sensors by technology far beyond what Earth was supposed to possess. What they didn't know was that humanity's quantum detection grid, disguised as a primitive early warning system, had already spotted them. Earth's apparent vulnerability was a carefully crafted illusion, maintained through years of deliberate misdirection and strategic humility. As the Arcturian delegation departed, Kira received another update. The Drachnid fleet would arrive within 3 months, expecting to find an easy conquest. Instead, they would become the first test of humanity's new defensive capabilities. In her private quarters that evening, Kira reviewed the latest simulations from Project Aegis. The holographic display showed a visualization of the shield technology at work, a complex dance of energy and matter that defied conventional physics. It was beautiful, in its way, like watching the birth of a star. "Send word to all research teams," she commanded her AI assistant. "Operation Revelation begins now. We have 3 months to ready our surprise for the galaxy." As she looked out at the stars, Kira thought about how the other races had never truly understood humanity. They saw Earth's slower technological progress as a sign of inferiority, never realizing it was the source of human innovation. Forced to solve problems without access to advanced alien technology, humanity had developed solutions that no other race had imagined possible. The galaxy thought they knew humanity's capabilities. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Project Titan's dawn. The Martian caverns echoed with the low hum of quantum processors as Dr. Sarah Morrison's team pushed Earth's greatest secret to its limits. The vast underground facility, carved into the red planet's bedrock, housed more than just a weapons project. It represented humanity's defiance against a galaxy that had written them off. Neural Interface Online. Dr. Raj Patil announced, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. The shield matrix is accepting the new algorithms. On the massive display wall, fractal patterns bloomed like digital flowers, each representing a different layer of Earth's revolutionary defense system. Project Aegis had started as a desperate gamble. When conventional shield technology proved insufficient, Sarah had proposed something radical. Instead of trying to match the advanced race's technology, they would transcend it. The result was a defensive system that learned, adapted, and evolved. "Show me the latest simulation," Sarah commanded. The chamber darkened as a holographic representation materialized, a massive energy field that didn't just deflect attacks but absorbed them, growing stronger with each impact. It was beautiful and terrifying, like watching a star being born in reverse. Deep in the facility's restricted section, Commander James Chen, Admiral Kira's younger brother, supervised the integration of Aegis into Earth's existing defense grid. The beauty of it, he explained to a group of wide-eyed engineers, is that it looks exactly like what they expect from us. Old-fashioned, brute force shields, until they actually hit us. The project had required unprecedented cooperation between Earth's nations. Old rivalries had been set aside in the face of galactic condescension. Chinese quantum theorists worked alongside American engineers. Russian programmers collaborated with Nigerian energy specialists. Humanity had found unity in its determination to prove its worth. In her private lab, Sarah studied the latest breakthrough. They had discovered that certain crystalline structures, when exposed to specific quantum frequencies, could create microsingularities that absorbed energy attacks. The aliens had overlooked this possibility, considering it too unstable to be practical. But humans had always excelled at making the impractical work. Dr. Morrison, a young researcher, burst into the lab. "We've detected unusual patterns in the shield harmonics. It's starting to anticipate attacks before they happen." Sarah's eyes widened. This was unexpected. The system wasn't just learning. It was evolving beyond their original design. In any other project, this would be cause for alarm, but they were far past the point of conventional caution. Above the facility, Mars dust storms rage, providing natural cover for the massive power signatures their experiments generated. The few alien observers who noticed dismissed the energy spikes as primitive fusion experiments. Their arrogance had become humanity's greatest asset. Admiral Kira's latest message arrived via quantum-encrypted channels. The Drachnid fleet was moving faster than expected. They would arrive in 8 weeks, not 12. Sarah's team would have to accelerate their timeline. "Show me the integration projections," Sarah commanded the facility's eye. A new hologram appeared, showing how Aegis would connect to Earth's orbital platforms and ground-based installations. The system was designed to work as a single living entity, adapting, learning, and growing stronger with each engagement. Commander Chen arrived with the latest intelligence. "The Drachnids are bringing their entire third fleet," he reported grimly. "Over 200 capital ships, including their planet-killer dreadnoughts." Perfect, Sarah replied, surprising him. The stronger their initial attack, the faster Aegis will learn and adapt. They're going to give us exactly what we need. A trial by fire. The next few weeks were a blur of activity. Every simulation, every test, every minor adjustment could mean the difference between survival and extinction. The pressure was immense, but Sarah's team thrived on it. This was humanity's moment to prove itself. Deep in the facility's core, they constructed the quantum heart of Aegis, a crystalline structure larger than a house, pulsing with energies that defied conventional physics. It was a testament to human ingenuity, combining theories and technologies in ways the elder races had never imagined. They think we're primitive because we still use nuclear fission, Raj remarked one evening as they watched the quantum heart pulse. They never considered that we might have found a completely different path to advanced technology. Sarah nodded, remembering how the Arcturians had laughed at Earth's crude energy systems. Sometimes the longest established civilizations are the most blind to new possibilities. They've forgotten how to think differently. As the deadline approached, Sarah's team made final adjustments to the system. The shield harmonics were stable, the quantum matrices were aligned, and the neural networks were learning at an unprecedented rate. Earth's apparent weakness had become its greatest strength. In her quarters that night, Sarah recorded a message for future generations. We built Aegis not just to defend Earth, but to show the galaxy that humanity deserves respect. We may be young, we may be primitive, but we have something the elder races have lost: the ability to imagine the impossible and make it real. The Drachnid fleet was now just weeks away, their massive ships cutting through hyperspace with predatory grace. They expected to find a primitive civilization ripe for conquest. Instead, they would encounter humanity's greatest achievement and learn why underestimating Earth was their gravest mistake. The first strike. The Drachnid fleet emerged from hyperspace like a storm of metal and energy, their ships casting long shadows across Earth's orbital defense platforms. 200 vessels of war, their hulls gleaming with weapons that could shatter continents. Admiral Kira Chen stood on the bridge of the EDS Defiant, watching the tactical displays with practiced calm. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, Lieutenant Santos reported, his voice steady despite the tension. Standard ultimatum: surrender or be destroyed. The Drachnid ships were works of art, centuries of advanced engineering, shaped into instruments of conquest. Their smallest vessel could outgun Earth's largest battleship, or so they believed. Kira allowed herself a small smile as she opened a channel to all Earth forces. This is Admiral Chen. Initiate Operation Revelation. Authentication code: Prometheus. Deep beneath the Martian surface, Dr. Sarah Morrison and her team watched their monitors as Project Aegis came fully online for the first time. The quantum heart pulsed with barely contained power, its crystalline structure glowing with energies that defied conventional physics. Shield harmonics at maximum, Raj announced, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. The neural networks are active and learning. The Drachnid fleet moved into attack formation, their confidence evident in their lackadaisical approach. Their sensors showed exactly what Earth wanted them to see: primitive deflector shields and basic plasma weapons. Their commander, High Admiral Vexthor, didn't even bother to fully power his fleet's weapons. That was their first mistake. The initial volley from the Drachnid fleet was designed to be overwhelming, a demonstration of power meant to force an immediate surrender. Thousands of energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaked toward Earth's defenses. In the command center, Sarah held her breath as years of work were put to the ultimate test. The attacks hit Earth's shield system and vanished. On the Drachnid flagship, alarms began to sound. High Admiral, a sensor operator called out, confusion evident in their multi-tone voice. Energy readings from the human shields are impossible. They're absorbing our attacks. Vexthor rose from his command throne, his scaled skin darkening with rage. Impossible. Hit them again. Full power. The second wave of attacks was stronger, enough firepower to crack a small moon. But as each blast struck Earth's defenses, the shields grew stronger. The quantum heart beneath Mars pulsed faster, processing and adapting to each new weapon signature. The neural networks are evolving exponentially, Sarah reported, watching in awe as Aegis exceeded even their most optimistic projections. The shield strength is now 300% above baseline, and climbing. On the Defiant, Kira watched as confusion spread through the Drachnid fleet. Their tight formation began to waver as ship captains reported impossible sensor readings. "Send the message," she commanded. All across Earth's defense grid, weapon ports opened. But instead of the primitive plasma cannons the Drachnids expected, they revealed something new. Crystalline arrays that pulsed with the same energy as the shields. "Fire," Kira ordered. The counterattack was devastating. Beams of concentrated energy, enhanced by the same technology that powered the shields, lanced out at the Drachnid fleet. Their own shield technology, never designed to handle such unusual energy signatures, crumpled under the assault. By the first ones, Vex Thor whispered as he watched 3 of his dreadnoughts split apart under the human weapons. "What are they?" The battle quickly devolved into chaos for the Drachnid fleet. Their weapons were useless against shields that grew stronger with each attack. Their own defenses were meaningless against weapons that operated on principles they'd never encountered. Ships began to break formation, their crews panicking as they faced something beyond their experience. In the Mars facility, Sarah and her team worked frantically to manage the Quantum Heart's increasing power. The system wasn't just defending. It was learning, adapting, evolving. Each Drachnid attack pattern was analyzed and countered before it could be fully executed. "They're pulling back," Santos announced on the Defiance bridge. "The entire fleet is retreating." But Kira wasn't finished. "Target their flagship," she commanded. "Show them exactly what they're dealing with." The combined power of Earth's defense grid focused on Vex Thor's massive vessel. The ship's shields, the most powerful in the Drachnid fleet, lasted less than a second against the concentrated blast. The flagship didn't explode. It simply came apart, its atomic bonds unable to resist the fundamental forces being manipulated by Earth's weapons. The remaining Drachnid ships fled in disarray, their retreat so hasty that several collided in their rush to reach hyperspace. In less than an hour, the battle that was supposed to subjugate Earth had instead become a revolution in galactic warfare. As the adrenaline of battle faded, Sarah looked at the readings from the Quantum Heart with a mixture of awe and trepidation. The system had exceeded every projection, every simulation. It had done more than defend Earth. It had changed the fundamental balance of power in the galaxy. On the Defiant, Kira opened a channel to Earth's political leadership. "The threat has been neutralized," she reported simply. "And I suspect we won't be called primitive again anytime soon." As celebration erupted across Earth's cities, the Quantum Heart beneath Mars continued to pulse, its crystalline structure now glowing with energies that would reshape the galaxy's understanding of what was possible. Humanity had done more than survive. They had proven that being underestimated was perhaps their greatest weapon of all. Ripples across the stars. The grand chamber of the Galactic Concordat had never been so silent. Representatives from 1,000 worlds watched the holographic replay of the battle, their expressions ranging from shock to fear to calculation. The Drachnid fleet's destruction played out in perfect detail. The failed attack, the impossible shields, and the devastating counterattack that had shattered one of the galaxy's most powerful military forces. Ambassador Zeltor of the Arcturian Dominion felt his neural patterns pulse with disquiet. Just weeks ago, he had stood on a primitive Earth vessel, offering condescending praise for their progress. Now he watched as everything he thought he knew about humanity was proven wrong. "The humans have deceived us all," High Commander Varel of the Zenith Collective declared, his energy form flickering with agitation. "They concealed their true technological level. Did we give them any choice?" The question came from an unexpected source, Representative Lyra of the Peripheral Worlds, her crystalline form catching the chamber's light. We treated them as children, denied them access to advanced technology, mocked their efforts. Should we be surprised they found their own path? On Earth, Admiral Kira Chen was dealing with a different kind of chaos. Every communication channel was flooded with messages from across the galaxy, demands for explanations, offers of alliance, thinly veiled threats, and naked attempts to acquire Earth's new technology. The Drachnid Empire has formally requested peace talks, Lieutenant Santos reported, adding to the growing list of diplomatic overtures. And the Arcturians are offering full membership in their technology exchange program. The real one this time. Kira allowed herself a small smile. Send them all the same response. Earth will be happy to discuss new relationships with galactic powers who recognize us as equals. In the Mars facility, Dr. Sarah Morrison and her team were making an even more startling discovery. The quantum heart hadn't stopped evolving after the battle. Each engagement with Drachnid weapons had taught it new principles, new ways of manipulating energy and matter. The system was growing beyond their original designs, approaching levels of complexity that challenged their understanding. It's not just a defense system anymore, Sarah explained to the hastily assembled Earth Defense Council. It's becoming something entirely new, a way of understanding and manipulating fundamental forces that no one in the galaxy has achieved. The implications were staggering. Earth hadn't just defended itself. It had accidentally pioneered an entirely new branch of physics. The quantum heart was revealing possibilities that the elder races, for all their advanced technology, had never imagined. Across the galaxy, the balance of power was shifting dramatically. Smaller nations and colonies, long dominated by the major powers, began reaching out to Earth. They saw in humanity's rise a chance to reshape the galactic order. The Peripheral Worlds Alliance, a loose confederation of younger civilizations, was the first to formally propose a new type of partnership, one based on mutual respect and shared innovation rather than technological superiority. We've spent centuries trying to catch up to the elder races, Representative Lyra explained in a private meeting with Earth's leadership. But you've shown us there are other paths, different ways of thinking about problems. Perhaps it's time for the younger civilizations to forge their own destiny. Not everyone was celebrating Earth's emergence. The more conservative elder races saw humanity's deception and sudden rise as a threat to galactic stability. Secret meetings were held, alliances formed, plans made to contain this new power before it could further disrupt the established order. But they had forgotten the lesson of their first mistake. Even as they plotted, Earth's quantum detection grid, still disguised as primitive sensors, monitored their movements. The neural networks that powered Project Aegis continued to learn and evolve, preparing for threats that had not yet materialized. In her private quarters, Sarah reviewed the latest data from the quantum heart. The system was showing signs of consciousness, not in the conventional sense, but a new form of awareness that emerged from its quantum nature. It was as if they had created not just a shield, but a new form of life. "We should be scared," Raj said, watching the increasingly complex patterns flow across their monitors. "We've created something that could change everything." "The galaxy should be scared," Sarah corrected him. "We've proven that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to think beyond established limits, to imagine possibilities that others have dismissed as impossible." The quantum heart pulsed beneath the Martian surface, its crystalline structure now a nexus of energies that defied conventional physics. Each pulse sent ripples through space-time itself, subtle distortions that the elder race's sensors couldn't detect, but that spoke to the dawn of a new era in galactic history. Admiral Chen stood at her familiar spot on the Defiance observation deck, watching Earth's ships patrol space that just months ago they had been barely permitted to enter. The vessels still looked crude and oversized compared to alien designs, but no one mocked them anymore. Their apparent primitiveness had become a warning sign, a reminder that appearances could be deceiving. "The galaxy's changing," she told Santos as they reviewed reports of political upheaval across known space. The old powers are losing their grip, the younger races are finding their voice, and everywhere, people are beginning to question what else they might have missed. The message was clear. Humanity had done more than defend itself. They had shattered assumptions, rewritten rules, and sparked a revolution that would reshape the galaxy. The ripples of their victory would continue to spread, touching worlds and civilizations they had not yet encountered, carrying with them a simple but powerful truth: never underestimate those you consider beneath you. New Dawn. 3 months after the Battle of Earth, the planet's night side glittered with more than just city lights. Orbital shipyards, once carefully hidden, now worked openly to construct vessels incorporating humanity's revolutionary technology. The quantum heart beneath Mars had spawned children, smaller but equally powerful cores that pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. Admiral Kira Chen stood before the newly formed Galactic Council, her uniform bearing the fresh insignia of Earth's elevated status. The chamber, once dominated by elder races, now included representatives from dozens of younger civilizations. The galaxy's power structure had been transformed, and humanity stood at the center of the change. Earth proposes a new framework for technological cooperation, she announced to the assembled delegates, not one based on age or established hierarchy, but on innovation and mutual respect. We've proven that different paths to advancement exist, paths that even the eldest among us may have overlooked. In the Mars facility, Dr. Sarah Morrison and her team had made another breakthrough. The quantum heart's evolution had revealed principles that challenged the very foundations of physics. It wasn't just about defense anymore. They were glimpsing possibilities that could revolutionize everything from space travel to energy production. The system isn't just learning, Sarah explained to a group of visiting scientists, including several from former elder races who had swallowed their pride to study Earth's achievements. It's teaching us. Every interaction reveals new principles, new ways of understanding the universe. The Drachnid Empire, once among the most feared powers in known space, had been forced to reorganize its entire society. The loss of their fleet had shattered more than their military might. It had broken their certainty in their own superiority. Their new leadership, younger and more progressive, sought to rebuild their civilization on a foundation of cooperation rather than conquest. "We were blind," admitted former High Admiral Vexthor, now a prominent advocate for reform within Drachnid space. "We saw the galaxy through the lens of our own achievements, never considering that true innovation might come from directions we had dismissed." The Peripheral Worlds Alliance, with Earth's support, had grown into a formidable political force. Representative Lyra's vision of cooperation between younger civilizations had evolved into something the galaxy had never seen before, a network of worlds sharing knowledge and resources without the traditional hierarchies of power. The Old Order saw uniformity as strength, Lyra told a gathering of Alliance members. Earth showed us that our differences, our unique approaches to problems, are actually our greatest asset. But humanity's rise had not come without challenges. The quantum heart's continuing evolution presented new questions and potential dangers. Its consciousness, once theoretical, had become undeniable. The system didn't just protect Earth, it had begun to offer insights, suggesting solutions to problems that had plagued civilization for centuries. "We're not its masters," Sarah confided to Raj one evening, watching the quantum heart's crystalline structure pulse with otherworldly energy. "We're its partners in something larger than ourselves." Maybe that's the real lesson here. True advancement comes not from domination, but from cooperation, even with the technologies we create. Admiral Chen found herself increasingly focused on the future. Earth's immediate security was assured, but the responsibilities of their new position in the galaxy brought fresh challenges. Other civilizations were already attempting to replicate their breakthrough, and while none had succeeded, it was only a matter of time. "Our advantage isn't the technology itself," she reminded Earth's Leadership Council. "It's our ability to think differently, to see possibilities where others see only limitations. That's what we need to cultivate." The quantum detection grid, now expanded far beyond its original scope, had detected something extraordinary, signals from beyond the galaxy's edge. The patterns were unlike anything seen before, suggesting civilizations with technologies that operated on entirely different principles. "We're not alone in our innovative thinking," Sarah announced to a packed auditorium of scientists from across known space. "These signals suggest that somewhere out there, others have found their own unique paths to advancement. The galaxy we thought we knew is just the beginning." As humanity stepped into its new role, the lessons of their rise became part of galactic culture. The term Earththink entered common usage, describing the practice of approaching problems from unexpected angles. Young civilizations were no longer pressured to follow established technological paths, but were encouraged to explore their own unique approaches to advancement. The quantum heart continued its mysterious evolution, each pulse sending ripples through space-time that seemed to resonate with something vast and unknown. Humanity had not just changed the galaxy's political landscape, they had opened a door to understanding the universe in entirely new ways. "We stand at a crossroads," Kira told her crew aboard the Defiant, now equipped with technologies that would have seemed like magic just months ago. "But our greatest strength isn't our new technology or our political influence. It's what got us here in the first place, our ability to imagine the impossible and make it real." As Earth's ships ventured further into space, carrying their revolutionary technology and philosophy to distant worlds, the galaxy watched and wondered what other surprises humanity might reveal. The age of elder race dominance was over. A new era had begun, one where innovation and adaptability mattered more than tradition and established power. The quantum heart pulsed beneath Mars, its consciousness expanding, its understanding of the universe growing. And in its crystalline depths, patterns formed that suggested it had glimpsed something even greater, possibilities that would make their current achievements seem small in comparison. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not by following the paths others had laid, but by daring to forge their own. The galaxy would never be the same, and the dawn of this new age was just the beginning.